Hello everyone! Welcome. I am Umbras, and today we are back in Gran Turismo 3. We hope to finish off the GT World Championship. Maybe even start off on the Polyphony Digital Cup. We got 2 more races left, one of which is Monaco Côte d'Azur. This is gonna be fun. Bunch of prototypes, race on this iconic Monegasque track. Let's do it! Full send. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Ooh boy! All right. Little bit spicy there. We managed to. No heroics in a Saint of Votes. My engineer tells me as we absolutely sent it there. Welcome forward, Shelby GT. Hope you're well. We're going to be getting a whole lot of racing done today. Or at the very least, we're going to be getting another championship done. And maybe another one started. Probably. Definitely. So I'm looking forward to that. I know we got a little bit of a longer race here. This is probably going to be around 30-ish minutes at Côte d'Azur. So that is going to be just a little bit longer. But that is alright. We can do this. Welcome LeBron to go. Who wouldn't have fought against Stuck 7 demos? I'm not sure 8-Ball could answer that, but maybe just because of the stones themselves can fully warp reality and all of that. He could probably pretty much just completely, the snap dark side of existence. You'd think anyway. But I mean, with 5 was it 5 stones? Yeah, well, with basically all but one of the stones. Thanos did struggle a little bit against the Avengers, a little bit. But between the having time, having complete space control, reality warping powers and everything. Unless Darkseid just completely catches Thanos off guard, I'm imagining Thanos probably wins. Welcome for Shelby GT. It's taking a long time for tires. Yeah, maybe try saving and reloading the game as well. Sometimes Voltari bugs out a little bit. Also, if you're trying to just waiting by his place, sometimes you gotta head back home and wait for the call. Or even if that means taking the, a different vehicle back. But either way. It should happen within 2 hours or so in game, roughly, for the tires. If it takes any longer than that, then start worrying and maybe then head back anyway to his place and pick up the tires. To my knowledge, I believe he also doesn't do any work while his business is closed. So if it's the weekend in game, you're not gonna get the call. Because Saturdays and Sundays, he's out managing the rally. So that could be another possibility. If you gave your tires to someone a Friday, or if you gave your wheels to someone on a Friday, big oof. You're gonna have to wait for a little bit. But if it's actually been a couple of weekdays, yeah, maybe take your vehicle, just buy him and see if he's ready. Sometimes the call doesn't happen and you just gotta, go up and pick him up. You gotta be careful through the bus stop, through the swimming pool section. Holy moly, this thing is fast though. Absolutely love this vehicle. No problems at all. Gosh, alright, just a little bit of understeer. Just a little bit of understeer now. Fronts are starting to get a little bit worn. But we're making up good progress. It is crazy how different, like, this version of Monaco is compared to, like, the F1 version of Monaco versus the freaking Supercar Street Challenge version of Monaco. That one is a bit unhinged. It's vaguely Monaco-esque, but it's, I don't know, a lot more elevation change, I think. There we go. Through the chicane. Alright, little bit of a twitch there. Wasn't quite expecting and ready for that. We are good, we're good. We still improved the lap time. I think probably around lap 8 I'm gonna pit. Right around the midway point for the race. And that should allow for only one pit stop. Pete, welcome both to us, sir. Hope you're well. Alright, now we are leading round 9 of 10 of the GT World Challenge in the Professional League. We're at Monaco. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this track. I wish it was in more racing games. Like, I know you get the F1 exclusivity licenses and everything like that, but it is just genuinely, like, a great... It is great to drive. It feels good to drive. Alright, easy. Boop. Alright, not too bad so far, not too bad. We do need to be a little bit careful. Tires are starting to get worn. We're still gonna make them last probably another 3-ish laps, just so we can do a single stop race. Not too difficult. We should be able to. We should be able to do that. I think somebody is with the tractor prepared to find a wrecked vehicle. Do you know where they are? Have you already found the wrecked vehicles? I mean, if you're gonna be heading out anyway, I recommend maybe heading by Flatari just to see if they are actually done. Have I ever tried iRacing or NASCAR 25? I have done iRacing. I have mixed feelings on iRacing. My main sim of choice is Assetto Corsa Competizione. I don't know, that one I feel... I don't know, I like that one the best. I feel like you get the most bang for your buck with that sim. And also the league races that I mainly do primarily use Assetto Corsa Competizione as well. Prior to that, my main sim of choice was Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0. But now I do a lot more like the GT3, GT4 racing and ACC. And the M2s as well. I genuinely love racing the M2s. The little bean cars. Those things. There's so many people, both in the iRacing and in ACC. They overlook them so much because like they're like, oh, it's basically just kind of like a mostly stock M. But it's so cool. You know, it's a great like momentum car. It's great for training. It's just, you get some really good racing out of that. Couldn't find one yet, but I'll check the relocation vehicles again. Yeah, well, there's a lot of locations that there can be. I know the sand pit, in the southern part of the map, it has like 4 different spawn points for them there. So that's a high possibility location. There's some that can be like way out of the way though. Like I think in one of my saves, there was like a wrecked vehicle by like the ski lift, and I just never bothered to get it because, well, you know, it was like way up like at the top of the mountain, and it was just kind of silly trying to drag that down across the highway and then the Flataris. Alright, next lap we're pitting. Got the Ford GT just ahead of us. Well, ahead of us, we are lapping it. We got the blue flags ahead. Welcome, Petra, hope you're well. Yeah, we gotta go fast though. We are on a time crunch. We are gonna absolutely blitz these races and start the next championship. We only really have, outside of these last 2 races here, 3 more championships to go until we are at 100% completion of this game. And I do want to save the Formula Gran Turismo series for last, because I think that is like the ultimate culmination, is driving, you know, like the fastest F1 cars and everything. And you get some of the longest races there too, so it is like the culmination of all of that. But I am excited. Ooh, alright, come on, we gotta get past the Panos now. It's a little bit unfortunate, we are going past them. And we're gonna get, unless they pit this lap as well, we are going to be, they're gonna unlap themselves when we go to the pits. Welcome Midnight, hope you're good. Right now we are absolutely blitzing through these Monegasque streets. Oh gosh, a little bit spicy. Alright, into the pits. Drink of water. Ah, that is good. That is good water. That is tasty water. Oh, I love how you can hear like the rotary, like the rotary idle as it's just sitting there. That that is awesome. When I wish with the Penos roasted in Midtown Madness game. I need to play Midtown Madness. That is one game I never got a chance to. I gotta find a way to get that working on PC. I think. I've always heard a lot of good things about it, but I need to. I need to be able to, you know, play that and everything. Can I retire streaming? I will be able to mod my server. Yeah, I can still do that. And it's just, I'll probably be a little bit more, shall we say, sporadic with regards to like hours active and everything like that. But like I said, I'll still be somewhat active in like other people's servers and everything. I'll still be, you know, engaged in like league racing. The big thing is just retiring from streaming itself at the end of this year. It's enough fun over wreck vehicle near the player's house. The Vitarias are from the drag race. So you know where you managed to find a wreck vehicle? You can do a Freightliner truck. That's actually pretty cool. I go through it. Yeah, I know. Hey, like we're still doing. You know, I haven't retired yet. We got a month and a half. Come on, let's enjoy that. But it was fun though. I mean, if you take a look at the average like streaming career and everything like that, technically we are, you know, in the top like 99% in terms of like length. Most people will, over 50% of streamers retire within 6 months. I'm gonna start streaming in the future myself. I mean, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun for sure. It is very time consuming. It's even kind of time consuming behind the scenes as well, believe it or not. Just you know, kind of like planning, you know, what you're gonna be talking about during the games, all that stuff. Yeah, my NFL watch parties. Gotta be careful with that. I know the NFL is very, at the very least with the Super Bowl, it is very strict when it comes to its broadcasting rights and everything like that. And that could be kind of fun. Unless it's one of those things where you don't have the game up and you're just kind of like streaming like your reactions and everything and everyone's else in like chat. Yeah, okay. So that could be pretty cool. That could actually be really, really cool. Yeah, so play-by-play, that type of stuff. That's probably much more within like the lines of like fair use and everything, commentary and all of that. That could be pretty cool. I wish you the best of luck with that then. Oh, alright, a little bit spicy. Yeah, don't hit that curb there. That curb causes understeer like crazy. That curb causes some understeer. Every 49ers game, every primetime game, and then every play. Oh my gosh, every playoff game. That's a lot of games. It means the winter time is gonna be real busy for you. But I mean, it could be fun. Right. Ooh, all right, R390. Let's see if we can't get past this without too much difficulty. We are in an absolute Group C monster, but the AI also kind of struggles quite a bit with the with this track. Yeah, you basically get to, you know, watch and then talk about football as well. That's the big thing, you know. Like I'd say, unless you like actively enjoy like what you're doing and everything like that, you know. Don't start streaming unless it's like something that you're just kind of doing it like as a passion, because holy moly, quite a lot of time goes into it, and it's just one of those things we kind of almost have to, you know, you basically kind of gotta be on it, both with like the ability to, you know, entertain as well as like converse. And having like the knowledge as well, pretty much right at the get-go, and that's tough to do. That is very tough to do. All right. Not bad so far, not bad so far. Come on, keep it going, keep it going. Alrighty. Welcome, Koryori. Yo, hope you're well. Right now, we're on the last couple of laps of this semi-final race of the GT World Championship. We're making great progress here, absolutely tearing up these streets. Oh boy. Alright, this part's gonna be tricky. You think we can send it on the 787B? Not into the chicane, I don't think. And again, with him going that slow, I probably can't get by him. Remember this championship? Yeah! The Professional League GT World Championship. We're getting really close to fully beating this game. Welcome, Sprockets. Hello, Captain Sandwich Milton III, Supreme Ruler of all driveways. Yes. I mean, what kind of sandwich am I, though? Hopefully I'm a tasty sandwich. A little bit spicy in that corner, but we're doing good. But yeah, no, we're doing well tonight. I'm having a blast driving these cars, the prototypes. And once we beat the next race, we'll be going back to a production car. Depending on what prize car we win, I'm thinking of either using the Roof RGT for the Polyphony Digital Cup, or maybe if we win it, the Nissan R390 road car is a possibility. It's one of the few places you can actually win the R390 road car in this game. That'd be a fun one, especially because like all the other cars, I did look up the other prize cars. None of the other ones are really like yeah, the other ones are faster, but like the other ones are all ones that we have either won already or can pretty easily obtain. So we'll see. Hopefully it's the R390 road car. That would be an absolute blast to drive for the Polyphony Digital Cup. So I believe that is eligible. What's weird is I checked, the Ford GT road car technically isn't counted as a regular production car, despite it being based off of the Ford GT Mark III, which was a, albeit extremely low production, road-going vehicle. Wait for the IndyCar game next year. Yes! I know. Finally IndyCar is getting some love. I can't wait for the IndyCar season next year as well. Like, holy moly. I wanna see how they handle the new Texas course, the new Texas street circuits. That looks interesting. First IndyCar game so far. I know. I am hyped. I may genuinely get it. I don't know yet. I'll probably get it. I'll probably get it. Just because I wanna. It's been a while since I've done a proper like single player sim racing game. The vast majority of my sim racing time has been, you know, doing league racing for the past couple years. So being able to do some solo sim racing would be kind of fun. I mean, I guess I've still done a decent amount of Gran Turismo 7 offline, but like outside of that, I haven't really done a whole lot. You just play games casually? Yeah. Nah, there's nothing wrong with that either. And it's just, I don't know, I kind of did get bit by the sim league bug and everything. And it is genuinely great, especially like if you have like a good league with like a lot of like your competitors are like really respectful to each other, and you get those close battles and everything. That's amazing. You know, having full, you know, like race long nose to tail, side by side, trading position battles. Yeah, no, it is great. You know, I recommend it. If you ever get like the time and everything, definitely recommend joining like a sim racing league. All right. The final race, Grand Valley Speedway reverse. We started on Grand Valley Speedway forward, now we're on the reverse version. Let's do this. I like a PC. True, that is fair. But there are some sim racing leagues that are console only as well. And it's just a little bit harder to find. But they do exist. Like there is, for example, a Sottocorsa Competizione. There are console leagues for that game. And I'm waiting to see how much the Steam machine costs. Yeah, if that can run some decent sim racing titles, that could be like the gateway for like, you know, getting more people into sim racing and everything. Which is always good, as long as like, you know, like the people are like the new people coming in are like respectful and everything. I take the time to learn. I'm always helpful to like, you know, the newbies and everything. Because that's how you prevent like the scene from stagnating and it just being like the same old heads. the big thing is kind of balancing, like, you know, getting the young blood in with making sure, like, you know, everyone's kind of like on the same page with like racing etiquette and everything like that. But I mean, I was a young blood at a time too, so everyone has. Maybe some game streams as well, who knows? Yeah, that'd be awesome. I know there are some games, especially like older games, you can definitely run on, like, you know, even a potato. Like, I'm currently in the process of getting the parts together because at the end of this year, I'm gonna be building my wife a retro emulator from a Raspberry Pi. That'll do, like, you know, like old, you know, SNES, NES, Game Boy games and everything. Things like, you know, Pokemon, Harvest Moon, all of that. Just because right now she's primarily been primarily played like Animal Crossing. And it'd be cool to get her, you know, into with some more of, like, more stuff and everything. That would be fun. I know she said at the next year, she does kind of want to see me play some other games as well, and just kind of like introduce it to like other genres and stuff. So that'll be a fun project. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I should get her to play Gran Turismo. Alright, little bit of understeer. Okay, yeah, I gotta brake earlier. I'm killing my tires too quickly, and that's causing me to get even slower. So I don't want to do that. Raiders do have a very nice. Now they have already moved to LA, right? Not LA. Las Vegas, not LA. I'm stupid. Las Vegas, right? Was that the Athletics that's moving to Las Vegas? Where are the Raiders now? Because they were in Oakland, right? But like now they're... They did it years ago. Okay. Welcome, Fonty. Hope you're well. Right now we're in the final race of the GT World Championship. Absolutely tearing up Grand Valley Speedway. And oh, this is a blast. Easy through these corners. Easy. Oh gosh. Easy through these corners. Nice and smooth. No problems. No issues. Oh, good through here. Yeah, there's an apex there somewhere. I'm missing it completely. The stadium does hold some trauma free. Uh-oh. This is probably some like football history that I don't know. Why does the stadium hold trauma for you? That is a much quicker lap time. That is good. Oh boy, little bit of, just the tiniest bit of understeer. We got 2 more laps until we pit, so our tires are holding up decently enough. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. Years ago when the Niners lost to Super Bowl. Ah. Yeah, big rip then. is interesting that like technically neither of them are like the, for lack of better words, home team for that. Like, I guess it kind of gives any kind of semblance of advantage away because both of them are on foreign grounds. But still, that is interesting. I gotta say though, with the way Vegas is and everything, I'm surprised it didn't have more like, you know, with it primarily being like an entertainment and gaming like industry and everything. I'm surprised it didn't have more sports teams earlier on. That's always kind of like shocked me. School locations to different years in advance. That's so crazy how that plays out as well. It's like you could end up like accidentally like then being like the home team. But I guess it's just luck of the draw. That's just how sport is. That's just how sports are. It's just entirely luck of the draw. Not entirely. I mean, you do make a decent amount of your own luck, but at the same time, like, there is a lot of factors outside of your own control that you just gotta do the best you can and hope, you know, hope for the best. Somehow only twice the home team has played in the stadium in the Super Bowl. That is crazy. Well, what are the odds? 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a 2020, and it was back to back. So prior to 2020, it just never happened. That's crazy. And then it happens back to back. 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 2021 Los Angeles Rams. That is so strange. I just realized I should have pit. I didn't pit. Oh well, we'll pit next lap. We've still got decent enough tires. We still got decent enough tires. Has to be either an indoor stadium or a warm weather city. Fair. So that does reduce the number of stadiums feasible for that then. At least by a small amount. So that goes down, so that does increase the odds slightly though. Well, I don't know, if cold weather... Now I'm curious what the ratio between like what is considered like a cold weather team and what is considered like a warm weather team. Which ones actually do better like historically in football? You think probably cold weather teams, right? The reason is this season's in the 49ers Levi Stadium. Yeah, you know, fairly warm. Yeah, Buffalo's cold weather for sure. Detroit's cold weather. Minnesota. Would you consider like Baltimore and Pittsburgh cold weather? They're kind of like intermediate. Detroit has an indoor. That is true. That is true. That's true. So, yeah, okay. I know Seattle's got, I believe, an indoor stadium as well. Who else? Who else is up north that has an indoor stadium? Would Ohio? Would Cleveland? Is Cleveland a cold weather team? Kind of. You're starting to get up north. Oh gosh, alright, a little bit spicy. A little bit spicy. Seattle does not have a dome city. That's their baseball team, isn't it? Ah! Oh, I'm getting confused. I apologize. So I guess Seattle would be considered a cool team. Welcome, Mr. Lidkey. Seattle is the loudest indoor football stadium. So that might be where I got the confusion from. My mind immediately thought, oh, if it's super loud there, it must be because it's enclosed and everything, and it just echoes and it bounces off the roof. No, it's just because some other reason. It's just loud. Oh, understeer. Lumen Field is not in this. Which one's Lumen Field? I apologize. I can probably physically hear you cringing through the screen, through chat, and I am so sorry. Oh, Seattle. Okay. Yeah. So Seattle's Lumen Field, which is not indoors. Now I'm questioning if even like the baseball team, the Mariners, are indoors. I thought they were. I know one of Seattle's teams is indoors. But now I'm losing my sanity. What is that? I'm basically trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember desperately while driving a Group C prototype. Oh, and I mean, the tires are in good condition right now, anyway. If the Seattle Mariners have an indoor stadium? I think they do. I think my wife knows, and she's probably yelling at me, but I can't hear her. It's actually, that's teams with indoor stadiums are the Raiders. Makes sense. The Saints, the Rams and Chargers, right? Because it's share a stadium. The Lions, the Vikings, the Cowboys, the Colts, Falcons. Really? Atlanta's got an indoor stadium. The Texans and the Cardinals. That is interesting. That is interesting. There's some warm weather areas that have indoor stadiums. Like it makes sense. It makes sense for Vegas, because you have like the crazy high heat as well, right? And also like they got the crazy amount of money, they can afford it. And the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta is very nice. I can imagine so. Like football is like really big down south and everything. And Atlanta's a huge market as well. Like the Atlanta metropolitan area is absolutely like ginormous in terms of like population size. So yeah, you probably get a decent amount of, you know, a lot like for like the money like for the sports there and everything. And a lot of like pretty diehard sports fans too. And then you get the big backing from Mercedes-Benz as well. Like, yeah, that's gonna be some huge money spent there. Because I mean, you don't want your name to be associated with subpar quality and everything like that. So you're probably gonna be spending a lot of money to, you know, make sure the stadium is in good condition, so it's associated with, you know, the luxury and everything. Probably. At least that's the lizard brain logic behind it, right? I'm probably completely off base. But we will see. We will see. Oh, that sounds so good. Like, for all as many people like to criticize the Gran Turismo sounds, especially the early Gran Turismo sounds, and rightfully so, the 787B genuinely sounds pretty, well, not a one-to-one, it sounds pretty good. It's one of the few cars that I think has always sounded like really solid in the Gran Turismo series whenever it's appeared. That 700 horsepower four-rotor motor. And as we come close to the final lap, we get to see exactly what our prize car is going to be as well. I'm really hoping it's the R390 road car. I believe one of two ever made. But very rarely ever seeing the light of day. Completely like mothballed in Nissan's storage and heritage facility and everything. But if not, we can still get to drive the trusty old Roof RGT based off of the 996 Porsche 911. First of the water-cooled Porsche 911s. So I mean, either or would be quite pleasant to drive. There we go, the money. Put it in our pockets. And give us the car. Give us the car. The Calibra touring car. I mean, it is a great vehicle. I know a certain German racing VTuber that would be off the walls. But that's not a vehicle we need right now. But it's still great to have. It is a cool vehicle to have to our collection. Lumenfield is outdoor, but it did hold the Guinness Book of World Records for loudest outdoor stadium 2 years in a row in 2015. Jeez! That's crazy. I wonder how many, like, decibels it reached. Like, at some point, you gotta, like... That's gotta, like, potentially be, like, a health hazard, right? You think, like, people would probably, like, wear earplugs before that. Could you imagine a concert? Like a rock concert at, like, Lumen Field then? Because, I mean... that has gotta be, like, super loud then. Imagine I was gonna say, like, an AV engineer. You gotta, like, really... You gotta really, you know, take that in consideration when setting up, like, the speaker arrangement and all that. Making sure you don't get too much, like, echo. We could do the CTR too. You know what? The ramps doesn't make artificial ground noise. Alright, we're gonna start a poll. Alright, which roof do we get to drive for the next championship? Do you want to drive the CTR2? Or do you want to drive the RGT? Do you want the four-wheel drive? Where is the RGT? I have it. Roof, there we go. Ironically, they're both around the same color as well. We get the Roof RGT, around 400 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Box of 6, built based off of a newer Porsche platform, the 996 platform. And we get the older four-wheel drive, higher powered CTR2, but based off of the 993 platform. Ooh, decisions. I'm gonna allow you guys to choose. I'm gonna give you guys about a minute to pick. Ironically, both of them are around the same color too, which, given the fact that both of them were prize cars, is a little bit interesting, as the prize color is sometimes randomized a little bit. All right, it looks like most people want the RGT, so we want the newer Porsche-based roof. 6-7. Alright, let's make sure everything is all ready to go. Get some oil, get the fresh oil in the vehicle. Oh man, the RGT is an absolutely beautiful vehicle. I will say, the 996 is my personal favorite generation of the Porsche 911. It is absolutely great. Alright, 10 race championship. Production cars, unmodified production cars only. And we get to see what we're up against. Probably a lot of Japanese supercars. Yeah, but Mitsubishi E-Lancer Evo, Mustang SVT Cobra R, R33 Skyline. We even got the Nissans. It lets you have the Nissan Z concept in this race, right? But you can't use the Ford GT Mark III, which is a road-going Ford GT. I use the GT1 road car. Yeah, that is a good choice as well. That is a genuinely good choice. Because it is basically one of the fastest road cars in the game. By a considerable margin as well. Foxcat, yes. Oh, alright, got the Eve of the inside here. We have Eternal Polaris in the R33 Skyline ahead. She has decided to abandon the Shidako Expressway. Oh gosh, that is a dive from the Z. That is a dive and a half from the Z. And she's now doing track racing. She swapped back from R35 as well, but that's beside the point. All right, gotta be a little bit careful though. These races are a lot longer than the GT World Challenge races, GT World Championship races, 20 lap races, very long. So probably only get maybe 2 or 3 of these races done. But that is all right. We should be around the same-ish pace of a lot of these cars behind us. We don't have that much more power than them. But we will see, we will see. I know once we, oh gosh, they're all battling it out. I know once some of the later races happen and our oil turns bad, we are going to be down a decent amount on power. That is way too late on the brakes, Isaac. That is way too late on the brakes. But yeah, no, I absolutely love the 996 base Porsches. Using the new Metzger engine, it is the first fully water-cooled Porsche 911 generations. Previous ones had used water-cooled cylinder heads, but the engine block itself was still air-cooled. I guess technically oil-cooled, just given the sheer amount of oil that they had and the fact that the oil more or less acted as a heat sink. But yeah, essentially air-cooled. But the 996 is the first of the water-cooled ones. And they're also one of the few of the Porsche generations, at least the few of the Porsche 911 generations, to not have like the circular headlights. Instead, they have what has been dubbed the fried egg-shaped headlights, where they're kind of a little bit more kind of blobby. And a lot of Porsche purists at the time really didn't like that, but I honestly really like it because it makes the 996 just stand out as a truly kind of unique Porsche. And it's just really cool. Gosh, come on, gotta get through here. Yeah, tires, because we are using road-going tires, which have treads and are, you know, because you have less surface contact with the road, they do heat up quicker and wear out quicker in racing, just because, with them having less contact patch with the road, the part that does have contact patch, is doing a lot more work. And also, you get a lot more heat into the tires that way, which causes the degradation of the rubber compounds inside of the tire. You also got to worry about pushing street tires too much, because otherwise then you get blistering, which is basically what happens when the tires themselves get too hot and chunks of the rubber, not small little bits and pieces, but like large chunks of the rubber, basically blisters off because air pockets are created and expand with the heat underneath the outer layer of the rubber. Fun stuff, right? On the contrary, if the tire doesn't get hot enough and you're pushing it too hard, you get what's known as graining, which is essentially where little bits and pieces of rubber tear off and then stick back onto the surface of the tire, and basically creates a much slipperier, almost kind of sandpaper-esque surface that just absolutely does not grip for the life of itself. Original Xbox is 24 years old now. Oh my gosh. I remember when the Xbox was new. I remember when the PS2 was new as well. That's terrifying. I am I am getting old. I'm getting old. Oh my word. I remember like the console wars between like the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and like when eventually it became like PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and everything. Everyone was talking about like the different exclusives that like each of the consoles had. I'm about to get an OG Xbox soon. Honestly, yeah. I've never really like played a whole lot of like the Xbox games. I know I want to eventually play some like the older Forza games. And unfortunately the emulation scene for the Xboxes isn't as good as like for the PlayStations. And there's a lot of PlayStation 2 support for emulation. But holy moly, Xbox, Xenia and Xenia Canary are still, I mean, they're functional, but they have a lot less support, a lot less completion, and a lot less guides than the PCSX 2. And when Atari was new, Tank Battle and Pong. Yes, Pong. Original Xbox emulations improved recently. Has it really? A new Xenia update came out then. Maybe if it becomes 25 years old. I know. Well, I mean, Need for Speed Most Wanted is now, or yesterday or 2 days ago, turned 20 years old. I remember that game. I remember that game when it first came out. That is crazy. Xenia is 360, Zemu is, okay. Got it. So I gotta try to get a Zemu emulator set up then. So I do want to at least try to play some like the old Forza games, as well as some of the old Project Gotham Racing. Okay, yeah, our tires are absolutely dead. I'm trying to outlast the Nissan Z here, and they are absolutely not having any of it. I mean, for being on heavily worn tires, we're still doing decently lap time wise, but I need to pit. Our laps are falling off of a cliff. That Z's got to be pitting soon as well. I know it. It's got to be like a lap or two before it pits. I'm not super worried. It's basically gonna come down to overall lap time pace versus who can conserve the tires better. Zemu is more advanced than the CXPX emulator. Okay. Yeah, so the four-wheel drive cars are pitting this lap. So I'm expecting then next lap or the lap after the Nissan Z is gonna be pitting. So I'm not too worried about that. And besides, we're gonna be on fresher rubber. We can easily make up that time. Like we're already pulling massive gaps on the SVT Cobra R behind us. So we should be all right. Only Forza Motorsport 1 is on the OG Xbox. Wait, I thought 2 was also on OG. Is it really only 1? I mean, hey, it'd be so cool to see what like the original is like. Given the fact that they kind of were literally the original one before it kind of found its identity, was really trying to be its like I want to say a Gran Turismo clone, but definitely like an immediate direct competitor to Gran Turismo. 2 is 360. So only the first one was Xbox. The other 3 were 360. What about the Project Gotham Racing? Isn't PGR 1 and 2, both of those are on regular Xbox, right? And then 3 and 4 are on 360, I think. That's one game I'd love to see make a comeback, is the Project Gotham Racing series. That's one game that, like, while I've not played it to completion myself... Correct, okay, awesome. So I did get that one correct at least. While I've not played it to completion myself, I have played it quite a bit at other friends' houses growing up. And I do remember genuinely liking the games. The main one I had played was PGR 2, I think. So, first one's pretty good in Xemu. The second one, though, does that one struggle a little bit? So it might behoove me to try to get an original Xbox then. Because doesn't the Project Gotham Racing 1 and 2, don't they have that issue where if you try to play them on 360, you have like the stuttering, I think? Something like that, right? Or is that trying to play them on the Xbox One? I'm trying to remember. It's one of those two. Project Gotham Racing 2 also runs Battle on 360. Pain. Jerry! Oh, sorry, Jerry, welcome! Yes, the Polyphony Digital Cup races, the first of 10. The first of 10. We're in the Rufara GT, based off of the 996 911 GT3. That has been further tuned by Roof. And I mean like fully reworked to the point where it is basically, under German law, its very own registered vehicle. It is not a kit car. It is not a tuned vehicle. It is its very own, legally distinct vehicle, which is how they were able to license this vehicle for Gran Turismo 3 back when EA had the Porsche exclusivity license. Yeah. Exactly. Alright, so at the end of lap 10, probably going to pit. So we're going to be pitting 3 times this race. And that should allow us to stay far enough ahead of the Z. This is going to actually be pretty close. Because we're going to have basically... No, we're both going to have 3 pit stops. We are both going to have 3 pit stops. It's just that the Z is going to go to... lap 12 and then lap 18, whereas we're gonna go to lap 10 and lap 15. So either way, we're going to be spending the same amount of time in the pits. So we should be able to win this then, because we have a lot better lap time than the Z. We do have a much better consistent lap time than the Z. I do feel bad for all the four-wheel drive vehicles that are racing this though. The two Mitsubishi Lancer Evos and the R33 Skyline. They're quick on single lap pace, but they absolutely munch and crunch through their tires like nobody's business. And it's just not enough to make up for the lap time gains. Honestly, if I didn't have the RGT or the CTR2, I'd probably go with the Corvette C5 Z06. That one is genuinely a pretty well balanced car as well. Good power, good maneuverability, and all that stuff. It's not bad on its tires either. It wears at the rears a little bit quickly, but it's not terrible. Alright, next lap we are pitting. Brake just under the bridge. Through the Yeet chicane. Right up against the wall, but do not touch it. Oh yeah, the understeer is real. The understeer is real. The rear-engined car does not like it when its front tires are dead. No, it does not. Because no matter how much weight you transfer into those fronts, you are not going to get it to turn. And I know I technically can bypass this issue by just using racing slicks, because for some reason tires don't count as a modification to cars, which is kind of how you cheese the Roadster endurance race at Apricot Hill. But it is fun to try to, you know, play within the spirit of the rules, as well as the letter of the rules. And that is why I'm using the stock tires that come with the RGT. Later Gran Turismo games would change that, and basically once they realized, oh yeah, people are cheesing this with the slick tires, because so many races in Gran Turismo 4 and onwards required like standard or sports tires only. And so you couldn't just slap racing slicks on a road-going car and, you know, absolutely bury the competition. Into the pits, into the pits. Alright, we should be able to come outside ahead of the Nissan Z. Yes, just barely. I say just barely. We have a probably still a 4-second lead on them. We'll see coming here through this sector. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-second lead. Okay, so I wasn't too far off actually. You can tell I've played this game way too much to the point where I can gauge how far behind someone is time-wise based off of their speed and how close they are on a track map and just seeing their dots. That is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. Alright, we got one more pit stop ahead of us, 2 more stints on these tires. Oh, a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a nudge. A little bit of an oopsie daisy. Welcome, JB. I just listened to the Beethoven virus and it felt like a whole ass boss fight. As someone that did a an animation featuring the Beethoven virus animation, where it is like the Hololive girls. It's Cecilia Emmergreen, you know, the robot girl, and she's doing basically Dance Dance Revolution to that song. It's really cool. I think it's called like Cecilia Virus or something like that. It's by Turbo Joe. Definitely, whenever after this stream, highly recommend checking it out because it's a genuinely great animation. So Pagani's on a C12 also worth it for Polyphony Digital Cup races. It's not a bad vehicle. It's genuinely pretty solid. The big thing with that one is it does go through its tires a little bit quickly, and it is stock slightly prone to understeer. It's not a bad vehicle in all accounts. It's got some good top speed. It's got great acceleration. It's got some really good power. But I do highly recommend you do be careful with those tires, because it does like to eat through, especially the rear tires. It'll absolutely munch and crunch through them. And with that, it is you got to be a little bit careful with that. Gosh, this is gonna be a 30-minute race. Yeah, the Polyphony Digital Cup is gonna be long. The Polyphony Digital Cup is gonna be long. Oh gosh, understeer. Save it, save it, save it, save it. Not save it. Thankfully, no damage in this game. It wasn't until Gran Turismo 5 when they started adding damage. This ain't a debative virus while annihilating people with a Bentley is my type of humor. Nice. What Bentley? I imagine the Speed 8. Gosh, the Speed 8 is an absolute. The Speed 8 is so beautiful as a race car. I know it's technically built off of the Audi R8 LMP1 chassis and everything, but it is still so good. Oh, the Continental. I mean, that's nice too. Especially the GT3 Continental. That is. The GT3 Continental is actually pretty fun to drive as well. I've done that for a couple of Enduros. Minnesota Corsa Competizione, and while having the right-hand drive seat is a little bit interesting, once you get used to it, it's a blast to drive. Welcome, Blood Wolf. Hello. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Hope all is well with you. Right now, we have just completed the Gran Turismo World Championship, and now we are in the Polyphony Digital Cup, where we have our work cut out for us. We got a lot of races to do here. So we're going to try to get as many of these races knocked out as we can. And I try. Oh my gosh, do I try. Try all the time. Innocent situation. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a non-blonde. Where am I? Oh, gosh. Go read chat. We're going through chicanes, Isaac. It was the late 2000s Continental. I bought it for Jimmy Kaida. Ah, nice. The land yatch. I love my land yatches. First night shift in my last sprint. Ah, fun. Hope you're enjoying the night shift. Hopefully you're staying warm and staying dry and everything like that. You should be alright though, I think, right? You got the last break, you're almost done. Final big push to the finish. Yeah, tires are already starting to die on the roof again. It's crazy, just especially with how prevalent the roofs are in racing games. You think that, oh my gosh, there was probably a decent amount of them made, right? But no, they are like super uber rare. There's like less than 40 of the RGTs. I forget the exact number. I think it's like 27. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, like there is a very small number of the RGTs made. A small number of roofs made in general. But because they showed up in so many racing games, while EA had the Porsche exclusivity license, people think that they're a little bit... People think they're a little bit more confident than they actually are. 90 minutes ago. All right, big push to the finish, man. That is literally just qualifying in the actual race for a TGT race, so you got it. Yes, indubitably I have won this competition at Mountain Motorsport in my $200,000 Grand Touring British automobile. Yes. Welcome, Easy. It's going pretty good. Right now, we are driving some production cars in probably one of the longest championships in the game, actually, now that I realize that. But that is alright. Because we get to drive the roof. We get to drive basically the last production car of our playthrough with the roof RGT. And we're gonna make sure that Boxer sings worldwide. I say sing, it's probably closer to a burble with it being a Boxer engine. Alright, come on, don't understeer and miss the pits. Into the pits for the final time. Yes. Alright, and now we launch. Final stint. Let's do it. It appears I have Anger, the one in the Mazda, and is now trying to perform theft at the contents of my pantaloons. Not a jolly good show, I shall say. I mean, I'm not sure what is worse, to be robbed of the contents of your pantaloons, or to be robbed of your pantaloons. Probably both. I mean, if you lose your pantaloons, you're probably losing the contents of your pantaloons too. Usually, maybe. I don't know. Answers on a postcard, chat. What do you think? Does stealing someone's pantaloons also include stealing the contents of their pantaloons? We're only having the deepest discussions here on these streams. Only the deepest, only the best and the brightest minds can answer that question. It is by far a truly deep philosophical question on like the meaning of life, or what a man is. The man is a featherless bipod. Does that mean a plucked chicken is a man? Probably. I think we just call those politicians. I am not a fibber. If I am indeed lying, my pantaloons must immediately spontaneously combust. Oh my, it appears I am lying. Dearly sorry for that, faux pas. Good chap. Muscle memories are cardio button. Oh. That is a good question as well. Yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's big spoon, little spoon, whatever. Spoon is spoon. And we all want to spoon and be spooned. Probably. You forgot Alfred Pennyworth's name! Hey, yo! Hey, yo. Do not put that disrespect on the former RAF pilot, Alfred Pennyworth. And yes, it is canon. He did actually serve in the British Armed Forces. I'm high run. Well, get lower. Make like Lil Jon and get low. You forgot Alfred Pennyworth's name. Wow. I am disappointed. I am disappointed. That man has a shotgun. Also tired and stressed. That doesn't seem like a good combination. Tired, stressed, high. Like it's like adding like additional like negative stats, negative status effects in Fallout, hoping they cancel each other out. Batman's butler is Sir Michael Caine. Michael Cocaine. But nah, Batman's butler. Alfred Pennyworth. The man who would defy the no killing and no guns rule. Of the man who literally employs him just because he can. Just chug everything in inventory. I'm not sure that's how that works. Go see a doctor. Please. Alfred is Batman, better at everything, Batman. Yeah. You remember Batman from GTA 4? I do remember Batman. Well, I can understand little Jacob to a decent degree. Batman, I genuinely need subtitles for. And even then, I don't understand him half the time. Batman is genuinely just he is the unintelligible. You know, my purpose is to fair. Brother, I'm tired and stressed to quit. Well, hopefully I can kind of at least, you know, be a little bit of a distraction for a little while. But if it's too much, I highly recommend kind of, you know, getting a little bit of a good night's rest and everything. Genuinely, sometimes that helps out as well. At the very least, you do have a feasible means of... I got hiccups. Feasible means of dealing with one of the three issues. Oh my gosh, can we make it to the end? Our car, we are struggling hard. We are absolutely struggling hard here. We have been put on this struggle bus. This man is in good condition, but that's not the way. Yeah, so luxury cars depreciate like a rock falling from like the stratosphere, right? Like you use BMWs, use Bentleys, use Mercedes. Because oftentimes, outside of like sports cars, right, which do begin appreciating because of their, you know, racing pedigree and other forms of like, you know, history and all that stuff. Luxury vehicles, a lot of their initial draw is just purely from like just the luxury features that are inside of them. But oftentimes, you know, those luxury features become the standard or become completely outdated. So, and oftentimes they're just a pain in the ass to maintain as well. So because of that, the price just absolutely falls like a rock. And so that's how you get It's the meme of like the BMW owners. The BMW first owner is a dentist. The second owner is you know like an engineer or whatever. Its third owner is some high school kid way in over his head. Its fourth owner is a junkyard. Now let's swap a Bentley. I mean, that's one way to reduce the weight of it. That W12, it's a bit of a chungus. That is a chungus of an engine, W12 there. Funnily enough, the GT3 Bentley Continental actually does use a V8, which is hilarious. W12 now, keep it. I don't know. You got a lot of displacement. You got a lot of cylinders moving, but holy moly, the maintenance on those, I imagine, is not cheap. What about AW15? AW15? Hang on a sec. What is that? The rifle? Oh, a W16. I'm like, I didn't know Blow Up was talking about guns. Okay. So it's a main depending section transmission. Yeah, probably a little bit of both. Let's be real. The timing system on the Bentleys and everything, and just getting someone to be willing to work on like all of that is probably not an easy task. That's the thing, luxury, secondhand luxury vehicles. They're cheap to buy. They're cheap to buy, but they sure as heck are not cheap to own and operate. The setup of the Bentayga is in the transmission. Oh, yeah. There's a couple other vehicles that are like that as well. I don't like that particularly. It's a pain in the rear, pain in the butts, pain in the kisser. Ooh, the Mustang's ahead of the Nissan Z. I'm building a W18. As if a quad turbo W16 wasn't big enough. Yeah, the Phaeton uses it as well. There's a reason it didn't sell too well. Just because you have the incredible complexity and luxury car value, like luxury car pricing. Oh, sorry, W8. Still, the W engine combined with like luxury car pricing for a Volkswagen badge. Like that's, yeah. That's probably not good. Still, either or, like there's a reason that the Phaeton kind of gets forgotten by history. It's in Midnight Club 3 though, which is pretty cool. Ironically though, because of its sheer weight, it's actually kind of slower than some D-class cars, including the Golf R32 and the Jetta as well. It's actually slower on a lot of tracks, just because it is so heavy. So you unlock C-class cars, you're trying to do like a German car only run, right? The Phaeton, I believe, is your only option? No, you get a Mercedes as well, I think, in C-Class. I wouldn't mind a Bentley, to be honest, even if used. Yeah, honestly, it'd be pretty cool, a pretty interesting driving experience. And especially as some of them get older, the only two ways you can get them is, like, used. Mount Carbo won't be so You would need to shed a whole lot of weight for that. But, I mean, people have done weirder things. Alright, yeah, lap 5. Lap 5 are probably going to be pitting. Lap 5, we're going to need to pit. So next lap, we're pitting. So again, it's gonna be a three stop. Still, that's a lot of weight to be throwing around. Yeah, it can be done, but yeah, it is what it is. Oh, down the gear. Oh gosh, the understeer is real. Maybe, but there's so much a good suspension can do when you still gotta compete with physics. It can help, it can compensate, but it's not the end all be all. But it can help. It can help a lot. Oh, the understeer is real. Around Nords and LMDH. Oh my gosh, that is terrifying. That sounds like something Alex would want to do for an iRacing event. Zoomworks, hello. Also, folks can't do anything if I don't believe in them. Kind of Looney Tunes-esque response is that. It's like you can keep running off the cliff and keep going straight on, and not have to worry about falling until you look down. Just believe you won't fall. 9.3 into it sounds fun. No, don't. Please do not encourage Alex to do that. The Mad Lad would. That's a scary thing. Is the Mad Lad would, and he'd make it wet for good measure. And that is terrifying. Oh, come on, understeer. Understeer is real. Like a Bentley Mountain Carver. It'd be an interesting experiment for sure. Some crazy cars in the woods though. Yeah, I think the fastest vehicle I've ever taken around Nords is just a GT3 car. Pretty boring, but I don't know. I don't really drive. Like in a lot of racing sims, I don't particularly drive a lot of like the really fast cars. Like I think for the most part, like GT3 is kind of like the fastest I do. I much prefer touring cars and like other kind of production-based vehicles. That's where I can really like, you know, get a lot of speed and everything. Gosh, no. That is a death sentence right there. Has to do with LMP1. Well, you can't get much faster than that, unless you do an open wheeler. None of the iRacing is reevaluating what they considered as green flag for wet sessions. Yeah, because there was a lot of like nearly flooded sessions, including Daytona 24 that we did. That was still absolute pain. Scooter Brothers. We'll see what happens to TVR. Yeah, there's a lot up in the air. TVR is gonna get passed around probably quite a bit and everything, but hopefully some good stuff comes out of them. But it's a lot of hearsay, a lot of rumors, a lot of unconfirmed talks. Next 2010. Gosh, no. I'm already having flashbacks to I'm already having flashbacks to the Sebastian Vettel time trials. I can't drive in the wet sometimes. Should be like pretty much, yeah. Like, iRacing needs to get their stuff together. That's my biggest pet peeve with iRacing, is they implement features, and it feels almost like we are the beta testers, despite paying full price for the yearly subscription to iRacing, right? Plus then also buying all the content and everything. It feels like we're paying, you know, like hundreds of dollars a month to be beta testers in a game that we have already purchased. Like, I know everyone, some people that are iRacing sims and everything and would never criticize it ever, like to defend new shiny thing and everything, but genuinely I would love them to just take like a full year and just genuinely just go through and just quality of life fixes. That's never gonna happen because quality of life fixes don't generate revenue. You can't make, you know, hype moments to get people to buy a track and race at once, like you can with tracks or cars. iRacing seems like a toxic hellscape, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, I am slightly exaggerating. I am ever so slightly exaggerating. And I've also been kind of exposed to, like, the worst of the iRacing community. But, you know, it's every fandom's got, like, those types of people. It's just that, unfortunately, those types of people are, like, the big whales of iRacing, so iRacing listens to them the most. What about the cars and tracks cost $15? So the game itself is free, a one-time purchase. Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, genuinely, I have a love-hate relationship with iRacing. I genuinely love the physics of it. So, like, it's probably, like, of the racing sims, genuinely, it feels really, really good to drive. For the most vehicles feel really, really good to drive, right? You get probably the biggest variety of track and vehicle content out there, right? Outside of like Assetto Corsa mods. But like that's not being done directly by a company. That's being done by just a massive collection of people who have a lot of time and talent on their hands, and they're doing that for like the community. And some of them are paid as well, but like still. So by the way, Project Motor Racing's got the GT500 DC. Nice. That's pretty cool, actually. What era GT500? I've not really seen too much news. I've been so busy with work the past couple of days, so I have not seen any news on Project Motor Racing. So what does TVA even stand for? I believe it is like the initials or the shortened version of the names of like the founders. I am 99% sure that's what it is. Yeah. They didn't say. Because GT500 could be modern GT500s, it could be early 2000s GT500s. It could be, you know, the 2008 onwards GT500s with the Honda HSV and the Lexus SC430, I think it was. A lot of different options for what GT500 means, right? GT recognized made a carpet. Brah. Pain. Into the pits. Into the pits. Out of the pits. Honestly, this race is going a lot smoother than the Tri-Mountain Run. Wasn't it Russian at one point? TVR? I don't know. I maybe? It wouldn't surprise me. It genuinely wouldn't surprise me if it had been, but I'm not sure. I know for the longest time it was independently owned and operated in the UK. Yeah, so if someone could do a fact check on that, please. I would greatly, immensely appreciate it. Because I don't have the ability to do that while also racing. I have to pause and then, you know, double check that. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about TVR outside of like the vehicles they produced during like, especially like the 80s through like the early mid 2000s. Like I don't know a whole lot about TVR, but that's the one thing I do need to like really get acquainted with and kind of expand my knowledge. Cause that could be that'd be a fun research to kind of dive into and everything. That'd be pretty fun. All right, we got one more pit stop, 2 more stints basically. I think this may end up being the last race of the night as well. Maybe. TVR didn't sell the Cerberus 1000 because I thought it was too dangerous. I mean, they also didn't sell the Speed 12 either. Cause that, well, they kind of, they sold it in a very limited number. But even then, like they kind of canceled that one pretty early on. Because that one scared the crap out of them too. One thing I will respect TVR on though is they did even make, like, as a small independent British manufacturer, they even made their own engines as well. Like the Tuscan Speed 6 has its own like bespoke aluminum block inline 6. Understeer there. Which is pretty cool because a lot of other British manufacturers at the time were using other companies' engines and everything to kind of save costs, and TVR was like, nah, we do it all ourselves. Maximum power, maximum lightweightness. And it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they made some very rapid vehicles. On the other, those engines were, especially early on, not the most reliable. But still. Gosh, I still remember one of the guys I used to work with back at the company I used to work at had a TVR Griffith 500 in the bright yellow, and he would drive that to work somewhat frequently as well. Pretty much every Friday that it was like, you know, good weather, he would drive it to work. And oh my gosh, just seeing that in the parking lot it was a great sight, you know. It was kind of like an extra like happy Friday reminder, just seeing it, just, you know, the little British sports car right there in you know, the parking lot of your workplace as you're coming in. So cool. Super cool. Absolutely love that. Ah, okay, so yeah, it was owned by a Russian at one point then. His name is Nikolai Smolensky. That is like Russian, at least Eastern European for sure. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Ooh. Minute 20. Not a bad lap right there. Oh boy, a little bit on this here. Slavic TVR is gangs. Yeah, who owns it now? I don't think he still owns it, right? I'm surprised you get fast with car guys. They get fast with something. Come on. A little bit of understeer through these corners. It's weird for a car with all the weight in the rear. It does like to chew through its front tires a decent amount, actually. Oh, come on. More understeer. Yep, this is definitely time for pitting. Definitely time for pitting. This guy made the Griffith. Ooh. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what all happens with that. Alright, we're sending it. Oh no, the Z's ahead again. Dang, that's sad. I was hoping the Mustang in the points championship would give the Z a good fight. A good run for its money. Dang, we'll have to see. We'll have to see with the Z. Also, I finally fully figured out rear engine cars. What'd you figure out with them? It's gonna be a little bit before we see the Z catch us up. But the next sector, the Z will probably be a more accurate time. They don't behave enough corners, floor it and ride it up so you really don't get late. Okay. I'll have to try that next time. See if that actually works. Like I said, I still mostly prefer front engine vehicles. The engine goes in front of the driver just like God intended. Yeah, because you get the crazy weight transfer. Yeah, the further back the engine is, the more it's susceptible to like the weight transfer and everything. In the first cruiser engine. Yeah, but then we made them better. Then we made them better. Nah, I'm half joking. Drive what you like. But I definitely prefer front-engined, rear-wheel drive cars. I mean, I'm able to get the most stability and most predictability out of them, which then allows me to push harder and get the quicker lap times. Because I have the faith that the machine won't do anything wonky. Oh gosh, 930. Was that the 930 with the turbo? I think that's the one with the turbo, right? So you get the crazy turbo lag alongside the rear-engined nature of it. Yep. Fun. It's like the Master License S. I forget which one it is exactly. But you got to do a rallycross course in Gran Turismo 7 with a Porsche 911 Turbo, old Porsche 911 Turbo. I think it's a 930 Turbo. On dirts, and the times is super strict. It is not a fun experience. I managed to do it though. I have managed to do it. I think that is arguably, at least in my opinion, the hardest of the Gran Turismo 7 master licenses. Maybe the I don't know. Maybe the one at Lake Louise was also pretty tough too. The Peugeot 205 at Lake Louise. That one is pretty tough. But at least with that one, you have the circuit experience to help you practice on a bit more. As that one, you're in a similar, if slightly newer Peugeot. The RCZ Group B car. So you at least have a little bit to practice on. Welcome, Game Over Tapes. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Just finished working. Awesome, awesome. Right now, am I gonna have enough time for one more race? That is gonna be a tricky question, isn't it? You know what? Yeah, I'll do one more race. I'm gonna do one more race. I'm gonna do one more race after this one. One, because we genuinely need to get as much into the Polyphony Digital Cup as possible. And two, because we got a little bit of time. I'll watch the VOD. Awesome. Thank you, I appreciate it. Weird question I have about Carfax. What is the question you have with regards to Carfax? Am I doing an enthusiast? So with that, we are down to our last 3 cars. The R32 Skyline GTR V-Spec, the Honda S800, and the Mazda RX-3. Those are the last 3 cars to get to level 10. And then we will have gotten every single car in the game to level 10. That is terrifying to think about. Oh, yeah, the R32 is the first one we are driving as well this Thursday. And I play by the R30's rules and taking advice from people who actually drive them IRL. I forget them. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely drivable vehicles. They wouldn't have been that successful in motorsport if they weren't. They're just very, very difficult to drive and very different than a lot of other vehicles at that time. So you had to really, really know them. And across the line. Victory! Give us that 50 grand. Nice. Alright. Next race. Watch us be like Special Stage Route 11 or something crazy like that. Oh, it's Rome. Okay, Rome's not bad actually. Rome's not too long. This time is more about the insane retraction we let off. Yeah. That, and also because the Germans just built the car that's backwards. Definitely gotta play this one. Gran Turismo? Oh, absolutely. Gran Turismo 3 is... Gran Turismo 3 is probably the one I have played the most of all the Gran Turismo games, both in terms of total overall completions, and also in terms of total overall playtime. I think this is going to be either number 7 or number 8 for total, like 100% completion, which is crazy. It's every couple years I do another completion, just because I get the itch to play the game again. Because I absolutely love this game. We gotta check engine light on track. Yeah, he's like, going to stop my turbo frog again. I mean, it's just not for me. I say that while driving a 99.6, but you know, hypocrisy is a virtue. Volkswagen Touareg V10 has only 300 horsepower and it's dilated diesel. Because it's designed basically for lots and lots of bone crunching torque, and it revs super low. You gotta think, it is a diesel, right? So it's super low in terms of the RPMs, and horsepower is based off of the amount of torque you're making multiplied by the RPM divided by 5,260 or something like that. I gave her Gran Turismo 7 and she gave me Just Dance 2016. Hurrah. So what is your favorite song in Just Dance 2016? Hopefully she enjoys the Turismo of the Gran. Is this gonna be her first Gran Turismo ever played? Oh, that's a special moment. We all remember the first time we play a Gran Turismo game. It's special. Oh, she loved 5. Okay, never mind. Has she played any of the older ones? But that is like we always had different preferences. Yeah, no, for real. I love my super grippy, absolutely floored out of the corners. Like, you know, all that stuff and everything. You kind of like a bit more too happy and everything. I love my front engine front wheel drive touring cars as well. But I know a lot of people don't really like front wheel drive vehicles, but I absolutely love driving them. I can be quite quick in them. Nope, never. The older GTs are night and day compared to the new ones. Yeah, for real. I still absolutely love the older ones, though. Like, I don't dislike the new ones. I just feel like the new ones, they feel, dare I say, too restrictive? River Just Dance in 2016 is Love Polka. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Whereas I definitely prefer much more stable vehicles. I'm an older man, I don't got that fast twitch muscles or anything. But I have the experience in the racecraft to make it up when it counts. That song was stuck in my head when I was a wee lad in the 20s. In 2006. Yeah. And then they made the Nightcore versions as well. So that got stuck in people's heads too. Ah, gotta love the old meme songs. The internet of yore. Now I'm old. And the internet's a lot of brain rot. I say I'm old, I'm technically still Gen Z, if just barely. Depending on which sociologist you ask, I do technically, I am technically within Gen Z. I'm basically either right at the edge of millennial or right at the edge of Gen Z, depending on who you ask. Yeah. As an 03 boy, I experienced a weird transition from... Yeah, I know. Oh, the experience from like the 90s to the early 2000s was a weird one for sure. A lot of toge. Maybe. Maybe. Oh yeah, I forgot about Camo dancing. Oh yeah, it's just the Miata because it's got a lot less power. It doesn't need as much rear grip. I'd say miss the internet, but it's basically the same. It's just the perception has changed. Kind of. There's a lot more people on the internet now, and it's kind of homogenized the culture into basically this smaller collection of websites. Like, you know, you got Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, 4chan. Whereas like the older internet kind of was a lot more spread out and a lot more kind of Wild West. You had a lot more of like the chat rooms and like message boards and everything that were much more like niche and designed for like that niche as well. So you then end up with like different like subcultures and everything. Oh yeah, no, I definitely prefer the mechanical grip as well. And just I prefer my vehicles to be on the more stable side. Basically get it to kind of get rotated into the corners with brake bias. And then get them to... I don't know why I missed the pits there. Oh well. My tires aren't that dead. And then, you know, have it set up so where I can get the power down early. And, you know, not have to worry about any snap overs or anything like that. When YouTube's philosophy was broadcast yourself. Yeah, I know. Oh. So that's when my dream cars are 32 Nismo. Which is definitely very grippy and very kind of stable and planted. But yeah, no, you look at like a lot of the changes to these companies and who's kind of running it now versus back then. You can kind of see exactly when the managed decline of a lot of the internet kind of happened. I don't know, there's still some good. Like I don't hate the internet or whatever, but like I definitely kind of miss the older internet just a little bit. Okay, yeah, a little bit of understeer. But no, that is a good choice for a dream car. I think my dream car is still the 2000 GT. And it is completely unattainable, but I would absolutely love a 2000 GT. It just exemplifies just class, but like sporty class. It's unique, it is gorgeous, it sounds great, it looks great. You got a bit of the racing pedigree as well. I would absolutely love a 2000 GT. You even got the James Bond, a James Bond, the, you know, heritage as well. The only Japanese car that can say that too. Okay, understeer. Cold tires, cold tires. Get them warmed up, get them warmed up. My dream car is a 3000 GT. Ooh. Now, do you want the first generation or the second generation? Do you want the earlier one with the active aero and everything, or do you want the later one that had a bit better reliability? Yeah, JB said it pretty much the exact thing I said. Either way, they're both are great choices. Absolutely love those vehicles. The Coke bottle styling. Here in the States, we got them as the Dodge Stealth, which is still really cool. Absolutely love the Stealth as well. Both gens are so good, it's hard to pick. Yeah. I'd probably go with the later gen, in my personal opinion. Like, Active Arrow is cool, but holy moly, is it a pain in the ass to maintain. Plus, also, I do like the headlight style of the later 3000 GTs. Yeah, we did get the 3000 GT in the States as well. That is true. It just, we also got it as the stealth. And at least in my neck of the woods, the stealth was a lot more common than the 3000 GT. Just like I forget what the other versions of the Starion were, but those were more common than the Starion. I like the fresh because of pop-out headlights, also the more retro style. Yeah. Also the worth 3000 GT. I mean, yeah, fair. But like that's the one that was more common where like in my neck of the woods. This still is more common in my neck of the woods now. Like you go in Craigslist from my area. Sure this stuff didn't have all-wheel drive? Double check that for me, because I thought it did. I just thought the Stealth didn't have the turbo. But I could have sworn the Stealth did have all-wheel drive. The Envision also sticks well with you said. Yeah. The kind of like retro vibe and everything. I like that as well. It kind of looks like a vehicle right out of Cyberpunk 2077. Easy. A little bit of understeer there, but we're good. We're managing it. Nyum. No, it didn't. Oh, okay, so it did have. So it was the. Okay, cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So it did have the turbo as well. Nice. Like when they did the retro features. Yes, and it is one of my favorite aesthetics. I do absolutely love it. It's better than the kind of the sleek iPad future styling. Which I'm not the big fan of, like that type of styling. I know it's kind of like, you know, the most efficient shapes and everything and all that, blah 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 blah. But like, it just makes every car feel very samey. Yeah. But no, the Vision 74 is just such a cool vehicle. I absolutely adore it. I highly doubt Hyundai would, like, you know, go mass production with that, but it is so cool. Yeah. Well, they designed a lot of vehicles during that time period with that kind of like the retro futuristic styling and everything, the kind of wedge shape. Said they put up there was enough demand. I mean, it depends on the pricing. It genuinely depends on the pricing. But like, I like the look of it. I like the look of it so much. It is so cool. I probably wouldn't be able to afford one. But it looks so cool. Also, holy moly, I forgot just how long the Polyphony Digital Cup is. So we got this championship, which will probably take us about like another like week or so, I think. And then we got Gran Turismo All-Stars. And then the Formula Gran Turismo. We should be able to do this by the end of December, I think. I think so. I'm excited for it. I am excited for it. It's like a street version without all the aero pillars. Ooh. Alright, I'm excited. Expecting that has me excited. I know, I'm excited for that as well. Getting Yas Marina, getting Montreal, and then the power pack as well. That's what's got me the most interested right now. I'm hoping that that's a lot more like repeatable, like endurance races and everything. And it's kind of more of like an actual kind of like fleshed out Gran Turismo mode and everything. Because I would absolutely love that. I hope it's not like the human comedy missions where, while the human comedy missions were absolutely amazing, you basically can only do them once and actually get paid, which is super stupid. Because I loved the human comedy missions. Those races were like absolutely awesome. Especially I really like the Lago Maggiore one. Human comedy had nothing funny about it. I don't know. I liked it. I liked the challenge. It was hard, but like it felt mostly fair-ish. Imagine getting an N74 streetcar. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, actually. But no, I absolutely love the human comedy missions. The Lago Maggiore endurance, the Rebel Ring one were as well. No sooner or later I have to do the missions. To be fair, granted they have changed the way performance points are calculated and everything. So that may make it a little bit more difficult. Going to do suck experience between a verge collapsing. So are you doing controller or are you on wheel? Game over takes. Because I have enough experience on Daytona, and I have a decent remembrance of how I did that one. Be a fun one. Controller. Okay. So what is causing the most issue with the circuit experience? I'm imagining it's the first turn. Wheel is so much easier. Wheel. Yes. I think the only thing in Gran Turismo 7 that's actually easier on controller is the drift challenges. That is the only thing where I've done it with both the wheel and controller, and I've had a better time on controller than wheel. Just because you can basically shift the weight a lot quicker. The first and third turn. Okay, so the first turn, alright. First things first. But you got the gold, thankfully. Okay. You just gotta get the... Oh wait, you got the gold for like the full circuit experience already. Or just for the, that sector? Yeah, our tires are dead. Our tires are... Yes, okay. GG then. Although, one tip I will give you, if you're ever struggling with Daytona, alright, first turn, genuinely move the brake bias forwards by like to 3 or 4. And then immediately after like that first hairpin, that first turn where you're coming off the banking and everything, then move it back to neutral. That first turn really unsettles the car, and it's very easy to end up with your butt into the wall. Where does EV1186 like the actual? Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, you lose a little bit of efficiency that way, but you get a lot better like driving experience. And you can probably get away with a smaller electric motor then. Maybe. By the way, it's still really cool. Was there a recurring issue? Yeah. And then the third corner, that hairpin, what you want to use as a braking point is basically there's a runoff road to the left. As you're approaching it, there's a runoff road to the left. Basically, right in the middle of that runoff road is when you're hard on the brakes. And you want to make sure you get a late apex so we can get a good run out of there. I'm not doing a Nürburgring one. The GP Nürburgring actually isn't too bad. The Nordschleife, my advice to Nordschleife, move the brake bias to -2 or between like -4 and -2. Basically rearwards around that range, right? To help the BMW like get through the corners. And genuinely just focus. Just kind of focus on doing it like little by little. Basically like every day, basically do like just a single sector and just keep practicing that like over and over for like just an hour, right? And eventually you will build up like the muscle memory and everything to consistently get gold in all the sectors, and then you can go for the full one. But honestly, the time itself isn't too strict. You just gotta make sure you're able to string. You gotta string together. Basically just a solid enough run. That's it. That's the big thing. The time itself isn't super strict. It just comes down to stringing together every sector clean enough that you don't either like lose a lot of time or you know, fail. It's a heist. The hardest to me so far, the hardest ones for me has been the Fisherman's Ranch one, believe it or not. That one is genuinely giving me a lot of trouble. As well as Colorado Springs. Those two are a pain. Those two are absolute pain. Because they still haven't fixed the weird like bouncing issue where the car will like awkwardly bounce after like a jump, and I hate that so much. So Degna's not too bad because you only really have one jump to worry about. Yeah. Like, the dirt physics in GT7 is still pretty terrible. What was another one that gave me a lot of trouble? Oh, Laguna. Believe it or not, despite the fact that I love that track, Laguna was a ball breaker. Laguna was a ball breaker. That one basically comes down to a lot of patience, moving the brake bias all the way to the rear to get that chungus of a Viper to rotate. That one was tough. And then, of course, all of the freaking Tokyo expressways. But, like, honestly, the other ones aren't too bad. Alright, take care, JB. Have a great night. Did I know about Half-Life Friday? I know about it. I've not done it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I know of it. I know it exists. High-Speed Ring was pain. Yeah, High-Speed Ring. Now, High-Speed Ring was probably one of the easiest ones. I wonder what vehicles they're gonna use for the Yas Marina and Montreal circuit experiences. It'd be cool if, like, the Yas Marina, they did like the one of their open wheel cars that they made, right? And then for Montreal, they did like one of the Red Bulls. That would be insane. Doing the Red Bull around Montreal. Actually, I strike that. Polyphony, do not listen to me because that is going to absolutely cause some people to like break their wheels, I think. Flashbacks to the Sebastian Vettel X 2010 challenge. No, they got a couple different options for like open wheel cars and everything. Right? So they could probably do like just different open wheel cars for both of those. Maybe. Alright, at the end of lap 18, we're pitting. This has been going well, though. This is going very smoothly. Okay, a little bit of understeer there. A little bit of understeer. They're missing caterings. Oh, yes. They need the caterings. Those would be fun vehicles to drive. Like we got the AZ Mono as like a newer vehicle, right? It'd be cool to get some like Caterham R500s or like the Aerial Atoms would be also really fun. Just more of like the lightweight track toys. We already got some KTMs too. Oh, imagine getting the KTM GT4 as a Group 4 car. That would be fun. That would be so much fun. The KTM Group 4. Polyphony, make it happen. That thing is so much fun to drive in a set of Corsa Competizione. It is a little pocket rocket. But I love it dearly. It's still not my favorite GT4. My favorite's still the Merc, but yeah, the Crossbow GT4. Oh my gosh, that would be great. They had the R12 before. They did? Where was the R? Which game had the R12? Alright, take care for Chobi GT. Have a great night. I am not remembering the R12. And I do apologize. It was in 6. What was the manufacturer for the R12 again? It's not, I'm drawing a blank. What was the manufacturer for that one? There was a KTM R12? Was it really? Oh, the Crossbow R. The Crossbow R. Okay. I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm not recognizing that name. Okay. Yeah, the KTM Crossbow R. Yeah, the track only KTM. Yeah, it's a shame they didn't bring that one back. That'd have been a fun one. Imagine doing like a lightweight track day car. Endurance race. You know, we had a one-maker endurance race with the BAZ Mono, right, at Trial Mountain, but imagine like that, like the Aerial Atom, like the KTM Crossbow, yeah, all that stuff. That would be fun. That would be so much fun. Like, I know we already got the Radical SR3, right? So, like, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. GTXR. Ooh, that could be an interesting one. That could be a fun one as well. I don't know, just the little lightweight track toys would be just absolutely a blast to have like a unique race for. Like that's what I hope the Power Pack and like Spec 3 adds, is a lot more of like unique races for like different types of vehicles and everything. That's what kind of feels like it's missing in Gran Turismo. It's like they add a new vehicle and they add like one race potentially for, and it's like FR Cup 600 pp or American Colombian Cup 700 pp, and it's just kind of sad. Where the Fiscal Karma has also got like a sword thumb. Yeah, or the Mitsubishi I. That one was in Gran Turismo 4 and 5 and 6. But it was just completely useless. At least the Fiscal Karma could be used in the electric car race and was fairly competitive there. Alongside like the Tesla Roadster. But like a lot of like the other like electric cars I had in that game, it was they were kind of useless. Like you had the Nissan Leaf, the Mitsubishi I, and all that stuff, and like there's just nothing to do with them. Honestly, I'd love for them to do like if they were to add more like electric cars in Gran Turismo, it'd be cool to add some more like the slow electric cars and make like a race specifically for them. You already got the i3 BMW. You could do a race around like both of the slower Willow Springs tracks, Horse Thief Mile and the streets of Willow Springs. I think that would be genuinely like really cool. Ow, bonked. You could probably do a race around Tsukuba, the shortened oh, what's that Japanese track? The fictional Japanese track they have. But that one, the shortened Suzuka. Like, you got a lot of options, I think, for that type of stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna be ending this stream here. It is getting super late. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Let me know doing well in the comments down below. If you didn't like the stream, please let me know down below so we can fix it in the future. With that being said, I've been Isaac Umbras, and wherever you're in the world, whatever it is for you, may be a great time. And I will see you all in the next stream. Until then, take care everybody! Bye!